Once upon a time, the Pussycat Dolls were at their peak. Everyone was singing their songs and they were all over the media. They tried to come off as a powerful girl group, but their reputation was slipping. And nobody really understands how bad everything got. We started to see a glimpse of it in the public, like this moment from their 2006 American Music Awards performance. It's clear Nicole was not happy with Melody stealing her shine, yet there were far more sinister things going on behind the scenes. So let's get into it. So the Pussycat Dolls have had a few different members in their group, but it's been clear for some time that Nicole has been the front woman, which has been problematic because not only is she the leader of this group, but she's also the main musical act.
But people don't even know the story. They have no idea. I was in center because I was singing. I was the one singing. Oh man, I hope I don't get in trouble.
Even though a lot of this is common knowledge, I wanted to start off with the fact that Nicole was the main singer of this band, which doesn't really add up. I mean, how is it a girl group if Nicole is doing all of the vocals?
I never really talked about it, but I'll never forget I finished the album, PCD. And Ron and I brought the girls into the studio, and we played it for them. It was the first time they'd ever heard the music. Do you understand what I'm saying? We played the album for the Pussycat Dolls. It's the first time they'd ever heard the songs.
Something about that segment rubs me the wrong way because the way that Nicole is speaking about it makes it seem like it was their choice, like it was the other girls' choice to not go into the studio and sing. And we know that these other women can sing, so I don't know why Nicole, I don't know, it feels a little bit like gatekeeping, but of course Nicole isn't the person in charge. There are a bunch of producers and people we'll be talking about today.
You know, with the exception of an occasional ad-lib. But they were Nicole. They were created with her.
I probably did 95% of the album on my own.
So why the hell is this a girl group when Nicole is singing 95% of the album? Like, there are major red flags here, but let's go back to when this all started. So we're going to be talking about a woman named Robin Anton a lot in this video because she is the person who created the Pussycat Dolls back in 1995 in LA. It started out as a modern burlesque dance show, and it was super popular, and a bunch of different celebrities like Pamela Anderson and Christina Aguilera and Gwen Stefani, Britney Spears, a bunch of people would go and perform with these dolls, with the Pussycat Dolls. And just so we have everything clear, here is the founder. Her name is Robin, and she's pretty much the villain of this video. As I mentioned in the beginning, there have been a bunch of different members of this group, and I want to talk to you guys about someone named Kayla Jones. Let's dive right into it because Kayla Jones has accused the group, the Pussycat Dolls, of being a inappropriate ring. We're gonna have to block out that word, but it's a P word and it involves, a certain type of work. But anyways, this word should not be used to describe a pop girl group. And Kayla has made some damning evidence that they were harmed, that there were singers who were passed around and harmed by industry executives. Like, everything horrible that we hear about Hollywood, Kayla's describing. And she actually decided to go and share a lot of this information on her Twitter page. She started tweeting out and exposing the Pussycat Dolls. She wrote, "My truth, I wasn't in a girl group. I was in a P-word ring. Oh, and we happened to sing and be famous, while everyone who owned us made the money." There are some red flags right there. Here's another photo of Kayla. You guys can see there's a red circle around her face. I mean, at this point, there were quite a few Pussycat dolls, I guess. But it looks like this was at the MTV Asia Awards back in 2004. What an interesting time. Kayla wrote on her Twitter, "How bad was it?" people ask. "Bad enough that I walked away from my dreams, bandmates, and a $13 million record deal, which is a ton of money. Why would they be paying these people $13 million if Nicole was going to be singing 95% of the music? Something doesn't add up." And this part is really sick to me. Like, this is when I start freaking out. She shared, "To be part of the team, you must be a team player, meaning sleep with whoever they say. If you don't, they have nothing on you to leverage." So it sounds like they're playing some type of mind games, and that like they're having people sleep around so that they could use it as blackmail. Kayla went on to say that this whole process was victimizing the victim, and that they could go and get these girls hooked on drugs and use it against them. Like, what? Like, this is insane to me, because it makes me think about how Britney Spears was drugged against her will, and at some point you become dependent on these drugs. And I can imagine, like, I don't know, if you're in a terrible situation and a team is trying to, like, I don't know, blackmail you, they'll get you addicted to a drug and then use it against you. Like, what type of mind games are these? Now we need to talk about Robin, because like I said earlier, she was the founder of this group. She's pretty much the leader of this group, and someone who I believe has been pretty much torturing these girls. Kayla didn't call her out by name because she's probably terrified of her, but she called her the Den Mother. And she wrote, "I want the Den Mother from hell to confess why another one of her girl groups took their life," which we will talk about that in a moment. She wrote, "Tell the public how you mentally broke us." She said that Robin and the record label made all the money. We as the Pussycat Dolls were paid $500 a week while we were being harmed and used. This next part is kind of random, but I wanted to share it. Robin was working on a project called Before the Dolls Were Dolls, where she pretty much collected all of the girls' baby photos and used them for some project. And she demanded that these girls get these photos to her quickly. So Kayla rushed to get her baby photos and gave them to Robin. And when she asked for them back, Robin informed her that she threw them all away, which is so messed up. How do you just take these baby photos and just throw them away and assume that like they have a bunch of copies at home? Kayla said that she mentally and verbally harmed us every second of the day. She would tell me how fat my butt was or how small another girl's breasts were. So just talking crap about them, probably their, abilities, their looks, just everything. So they were living in hell being part of the Pussycat Dolls. What's interesting about Kayla's situation is that she has been in the industry for some time. She actually was discovered at the age of 13 by singer and producer R. Kelly. Which you guys know, he is an extremely dangerous man. We've talked about him before on my channel, and he has been accused of harming a lot of different people. So if you guys have not seen those before, definitely go and check out those videos. So the Daily Mail took Kayla's tweets and they made a story about them. And the Pussycat Dolls were not happy. They actually ended up suing the Daily Mail, which means that they were trying to silence Kayla. I'm not exactly sure if they tried to sue Kayla. I'm assuming they definitely ceased and assisted her or something, but they at least wanted to take down the Daily Mail, because the Daily Mail will post anything, honestly. But I don't doubt Kayla's experiences. It's just the Daily Mail posts so many different things. I don't know. So who knows, but they were being sued. Kayla even said in some of her tweets that it's best not to get defensive and attack when you're guilty. So them going and trying to sue the Daily Mail, it's not a good look, because the truth will come out at the end of the day. Former members like Asia, who was briefly in the Pussycat Dolls back in 2007, have spoken out against Kayla Jones. Asia wrote on Twitter, "Who is Kayla Jones? LOL. She was not part of the Pussycat Dolls. I don't know her. Judging from Google, she looks like she just wants her 15 minutes of fame. Side note, she's a Trump supporter, yet she's Canadian," which means her vote doesn't count. That's a random part to include. Same with this comment about the Pussycat dolls. She wasn't in the group, so her opinion doesn't count. Honestly, Asia was barely in the group, and Kayla wasn't a main character either, so the back and forth is a little bit petty, but I want to switch gears and talk a little bit about Britney Spears' relationship with Robin and the Pussycat dolls. So back on June 4th, 2008, Britney Spears made a cameo in the Pussycat dolls video. This was only a few months after she was put into her conservatorship. According to Us Magazine, supposedly Britney was driving a car and they all waved to each other as she's passing through traffic, so it's not a huge cameo, but it's just a little moment. But what's weird about Britney's cameo is that it was such a small part, like probably a 5-second clip, but it didn't end up making it into the video. So why did she ultimately do this little cameo?
There was a rumor that Britney Spears was going to do a video with you guys. Is she doing a video with you guys? Is she not? Was she? What's the... Oh, look, secrets.
It's not a secret.
Okay.
She was, supposed to make a feature in the video, but, just like any other video that, you're going through the motions, and there are a lot of things that you do that don't necessarily make the video, and that didn't. For whatever reason, we actually don't know.
She came out and shot it with you?
Not with us, but she shot it. Yeah.
Wait, did you guys cut Britney out of the video?
No. I was personally bummed because I really like Britney.
Well, there was an anonymous tip that was made, and it was someone who was working on the set of that music video, and they had some things to say about how Britney was feeling at the moment. They wrote, "I saw a Pussycat Dolls video several years ago. Britney was going to appear as a guest star. It was at the point that she was stabilizing but had lost her sons. Cameras were rolling and the PDs were doing their thing. I was asked to jump in a golf cart and go to a trailer park parked somewhere on one of the Universal lots and go talk to her and see if she needed help with her outfit. I knocked on the door and I entered, and I met the loneliest person in the world. She was so bent and small and utterly broken. She was destroyed. You could feel her desperation and hunger as a mother. It was one of the saddest moments. I sat down next to her and said, 'You don't really want to be doing this video, do you?' She didn't. So we just sat there together for about 20 minutes, and I tried to be really kind to her. Asked her about her kids and how old they were and what they like to do. She brightened a little. It was incredibly sad. She did not appear in the video. She was deemed not well enough." That makes me so sad because you know that Britney was going through hell at that time, and this little project, this Pussycat doll situation, wasn't going to help anyone. I mean, besides the people who's going to make money off of it, but they didn't even end up using it, probably because she looked so sad and destroyed in the car clip when she was driving that they're like, we can't include this. But it's interesting how their teams overlap, if you know what I'm saying. I do want to play one cute clip that I found from one of the dolls who were speaking in an interview, and she shared that they went on tour with Britney and she saw a magical moment of Britney with her children.
I actually got the honor of seeing her as a mother. It was totally by accident. She was coming out of her dressing room to go on stage, and she was with her 2 kids, and I got to see her on a personal level, and she is one of the most incredible mothers. And she had to get in a box to go out to the stage so no one could see her. So when she went in the box, she's like, "I'm gonna get my box, y'all." She gets in her box, and the baby started crying, so she got out of the box, and then she went and she consoled her child. It was really sweet to see that.
Nice.
And it's really sad that the media doesn't capture that, because she really is an amazing mother.
Yeah.
Now let's get into the dark stuff, because you guys know how Hollywood works. They want more and more, and they're going to continue to cash in until they destroy these people. And that's exactly what Robin and her good friend Britney Spears' manager Larry Rudolph were trying to do, because they wanted to create the next big girl group, GRL. And of course, there was going to be Larry Rudolph, like I said, Robin, but special guest Dr. Luke was also a part of this group. And you guys know Dr. Luke is not a good guy, so it's like the worst people are coming together to form this girl group to try to make more money off of these women like they did to the Pussycat dolls. As I was doing research, I came across this snippet where one of the artists shares that like during the beginning of when the group was forming, they did like a performance for Dr. Luke and all of these people, and I guess Dr. Luke brought his 2-year-old 2-year-old daughter to the freaking show, and she was like walking on stage, and this girl group member, Symone, said that we were trying to impress him and we did not want to step on her, his 2-year-old daughter, and knock her over because she kept running onto the stage to dance with them. And I don't know, just Dr. Luke seems like such a tool to me. Like, he walks into a room and he just owns everything. I'd be like, if I saw your 2-year-old kid here at like this professional work event, I would be like, I don't want to see your 2-year-old kid here. Like, that's not the vibe. Anyways, GRL did have a couple of songs, and they did have some collaborations where they were on the Smurfs movie. Guess who else was featured in the Smurfs 2? Britney Spears. So it's interesting that these two people happen to get this movie deal. So what I'm trying to allude to is that there's a bunch of bad people who are working together with these girls, and I feel like these stories that we're hearing about the Pussycat Dolls are starting to add up, and we're starting to see how dark everything is. And Kayla says that these people like Robin and these producers and these executives are harming them every second of every day and making these huge claims. And it's interesting that one of these band members in GRL ends up taking their own life. So her name was Symone Battle, and she passed away at the age of 25. She was found passed away in her apartment in Los Angeles. And of course, Robin and all of those executives put out a statement that they were deeply saddened by the tragic news and the loss of Symone. They said that she was an exceptional young talent and human being, and we are all devastated to learn of her passing. So we don't really know why Symone took her own life, and we never really will, because it's a very tragic and personal situation, but her family has a couple of ideas, and it goes back to her role in the girl group GRL. I do find it interesting, though, that Symone was actually featured in the TV series Zoe 101. I don't know which character she was, but she supposedly was featured in that series. Maybe she was a background person. Who really knows? I don't really remember her, but I had no idea. Unfortunately, she was found dead in her apartment, hanging on a clothing rod in her bedroom closet during the early hours of that day. Supposedly, she had been seen 5 hours before her body was discovered. Obviously, her passing was ruled, she took her own life because of how she did it, but her friends and families and fans, everyone was so shocked by the news. According to a TMZ report, her family revealed that she had been struggling financially before she took her own life, which is very crazy to hear because you think like musical artists, they make a lot of money, but she was struggling financially before she took her own life, and some believe that's what led to her doing it. Her family actually told law enforcement that she was struggling with depression over money-related issues. Her family was puzzled as they believed she was part of a successful group. She was part of a successful group, so why doesn't she have any money to the point where she's depressed, going to take her own life over financial issues? I guess at this point, Symone felt frustrated that she didn't make it big in the US, and she was worried that she wasn't going to be able to make it big and have a successful career. And I'm sure the people behind her weren't making it any easier by not paying her what she deserves or treating her with respect. Remember that Robin called out Symone's passing and called out Robin and wrote on Twitter that she wanted the den mother from hell to confess why another one of her girl groups took her own life. Tell the public how you mentally broke us. And she was alluding to Symone's death because she believes that Robin pushed her to that point. And honestly, that's a huge allegation. But when you see Kayla writing on Twitter that Robin and the record label made all of the money and we were just paid $500 a week and we were being harmed and used. Like if Symone was making $500 a week, you can't live in LA with I'm trying to think about how rent is and everything. I mean, that would be 2 weeks. That's really cutting it close. And there's no way that these people were treated with the respect that they should be for the artists that they are or being paid adequately. Remember, this woman, Robin, would tell these girls how fat their butt is or how their breasts were too small and just mentally and verbally harmed them every single day. So there's no doubt in my mind that she's part of the reason why this woman was driven to taking her own life over financial issues. That's what I really can't get over because GRL was pretty successful. I mean, successful enough that they could have a decent decent living. They weren't like the biggest girl group ever. They weren't ever as big as the Pussycat girls were, but they had some songs and they could have been paid decently. So I really believe the type of treatment that these people like Larry Rudolph and Dr. Luke and Robin and the whole AMC record label, they all treat these people so terribly that it pushes them to their breaking point. But I want to hear what you guys think in the comments below. I just wanted to talk about this situation and the Pussycat Dolls because there's been a long history here and a lot of problematic incidents. Let me know what you guys think in the comments below. And here is my email. If you guys have any other video ideas for me or any comments or anything you want to say to me, feel free to email me. I'm not going to open a PO Box package item just because I need to it's complicated. But I did get my eyebrows microbladed recently. A lot of you guys were saying they look good in that video, which thank you, is very impulse. I was like, I'm just gonna go and just do it. Like, why not? And it everyone thinks it looks like hair, I guess. I don't know. Anyways, I want to hear what you guys think in the comments below. I'll open up PO Box package item sometime soon, just not right now. Not the vibe. But anyways, I'll see you guys soon. Bye guys.